lot of people, I've developed a very simple approach, logical approach to how to address symptoms of disease. So here we go. By symptoms of disease, I mean any disease. That includes lower back pain, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, all the way to simple infections. The three-step process includes starving the disease, cleansing the disease, and nourishing the body in order to address the disease. And you need to kind of address all three steps in order for them all to work collectively as a whole in the holistic approach. So step one, again, would be starving the symptom of disease. So how do you starve disease? Well, the most obvious way to starve disease would be through some type of water fast. But step two in that starving would be to add some vegetables to that if a water fast would be too challenging. So in other words, you don't want to feed that disease, right? So often the disease, the rash, or the inflammation that's in the ankle or in the knee or in the neck or in the tumor, right, is eating what you're feeding it through your mouth. So you need to starve it. That's the first thing. If you do not starve the symptom of disease, then there is nothing that can be done as far as cleansing and nourishing, which are step 2 and 3. So again, first thing is starve. So in order to starve, water fast, vegetable fast, juice fast. As you add fruits and sugars, just make sure they're fresh. It's a process, so some people might not be ready to water fast, so they might need to just do a veggie fast or a fruit, veggie, nut fast. But again, it's typically that in order to starve it is the step 1. You must starve the disease. Step 2 would be to cleanse the disease. So that's more of an offensive approach. So the starving is the defense, and the cleansing is the more offensive approach. So that would be more like herbal medicine would be cleansing. So adding things like turmeric, lemongrass, ginger, tulsi, soursop, noni leaf. Also juice, cucumber, juice cleanses, those will also help cleanse the disease. So again, you're starving it so it gets weak, and then you want to flush it, and that's the cleanse part. Again, the cleansing would be herbal teas, supplements, any of our powders or teas would work great. Approaching it both inside as well as outside, so through the skin. So if you had a rash, you'd want to spray like a noni hydrosol would be great, and that would help cleanse the disease. But then internally, drinking the teas, drinking the supplements like turmeric and ginger and lemongrass to cleanse it out. And then the third would be the nourish, because you want to still build the body back up, right? So when I mentioned the starving, I did mention some ingredients that you could do to nourish. But again, how would you nourish? So the first and second step in the nourishing process is very simple: water and restoration, water and rest, right? That's how you nourish. So get your finest water you can find. Ideally, it's spring water, untouched spring water that has all the best minerals in it. But the second step to that would be bottled, in my opinion, spring water. So really get the finest water, freshest water, most high vitality water, and then any kind of restoration, so horizontal restoration, but also includes massage, any of that kind of work that you can do to restore and nourish yourself. And then step 3 would be the intake of certain kinds of food to nourish, which would be first and foremost clean organic vegetables, then add some fruits. Fruits could be cleansing too, but you got to be careful of too much sugars. And then lastly, the fats, like I mentioned, the avocados, but the nuts and the seeds would also be under that nourishing umbrella as it relates to the starving, cleansing, and nourishing steps in order to address symptoms of disease. It's so simple, it's so hydrating, it's so cleansing. It actually Moringa hits upon all those 3 aspects. It allows you to starve, cleanse and nourish at the same time. One of the few foods that would allow you to do all three of those processes. If we can simplify the approach so that we can own it, the empowerment is so much of the healing process. What I just described is that empowerment, right? Starving it, that's number one. How easy it's to starve it. No one can help you starve it but yourself. Step two, cleanse it. You know, those herbs are so simple, you know, such a lost art, the art of healing with herbal medicine. You know, so finding potent herbal medicine, finding herbal medicine that has a high efficacy. It's so simple, but it's a lost art, and we got to bring it back. That has to be part of this process. And lastly, again, the nourishing process, less is more. Restoration, horizontal restoration, a little massage work, and high quality spring water. And as you gain the momentum, as you gain the energy, as you nourish yourself in a new space, it'll become so much easier. The progress, you're gaining the energy that you received from the last day. And then it's a new world. So that's really what I'd love you all to think of this as little baby steps of progress. The end result is out of your control. What you're focused on is progress. You want to take little baby steps. If you're not taking little baby steps, most likely you're feeding that dis-ease. And that's why you're not taking little baby steps. Taking little baby steps, the progress, if you're making positive progress, upward mobility, upward progress, you're chipping away at that symptom of disease, then you're making strides. Tomorrow you will feel better than today. And 2 days from now you will feel better than the next day. And that's really where you want to be. That's the rhythm you want to be in, and that's all you need to focus on. So don't get lost in the details, don't get overwhelmed, really just move through the process as best you can. Hold yourself accountable, hold yourself responsible. If you take responsibility for your own healing, that's key. As you get rid of some of these larger, more significant blockages, the realization that you can heal yourself will come to you. It will be so empowering, less playing the victim and more self-awareness as to what we're putting in our bodies, the environments we're in, the things that we do in our life to either benefit or hurt us. So being responsible for our daily actions, being responsible for ourselves and our own healing. That's kind of the process that I want you all to move through and not get overwhelmed with what could, for some of you, be somewhat of a radical approach. So again, I hope you all take the small steps, because that's what really counts, and move through the process and be progressive, and find a lot of comfort in the subtleties of the progress.